Hey vinyl community, it's Jeff back for a video. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm here to do a thread response for Robert from Robert's On My Turntable. And last week I saw that he did a video to show his Beatles records. And I was going back through my videos over the years, and I don't believe I've actually ever shown any of my Beatles records. So I thought this might be a good opportunity to do so. I'm a fan of the Beatles, and I think part of why Robert started this thread was sort of the hype, I guess, that's starting to build with, of course, the upcoming reissue in a variety of sets for Revolver. So I thought this actually was a good opportunity to finally show my Beatles stuff. And I'm just going to stick to records. I'm not going to show CDs or 45s, those sorts of things. I'm just going to stick with LPs. So the very first thing, I guess I should say too, a little different surrounding. I'm actually in a new room. I have a new music room in the house. I'm actually one room over where I used to be. I've acquired quite a bit more space, so it's quite nice. Maybe in the near future I will do a room tour to share the new digs with everybody. So, okay, without further ado, let's get started here. So the very first one that I have, actually I didn't even pull it off of the wall, but Beatlemania with the Beatles. And I'm just gonna pan up a bit. You can see it on the wall behind me over my head here. That was a Canadian release. It was actually the first release, Beatles release in North America. And that's on the Capital Rainbow label. I just have it in this cardboard sort of sleeve. I don't like to keep records that are in the record frames on the walls in them, so they're just sort of lying separate. The next one that I have, and this one I just kind of have set to the side because I didn't go through and solidify exact pressings and countries and everything. Some of them, the countries I know, but this was one I really wasn't sure, and in going back and looking at the Discogs entry, it's incorrect by double checking the label, so I've entered it incorrectly in Discogs, which needs to be changed. But of course, this is Please Please Me, and this is an all black Parlophone label. I do believe that it is a UK pressing. But again, I'm not sure what, it's obviously a reissue, but I would just have to go back and double check to see what year that was released. Most of these are in order. The odd one might be out of order, but so bear with me, please. The 2014 box set I never grabbed after the fact. It probably would have been a wise idea. They were also released as individual releases, and when they were first released, my objective was to only get a few of them, and then I would get another one and then another one, so I probably should have bought the box. But here we go with the Beatles. This of course is the mono reissue from that set, and these are wonderful. If you have the box or any of the releases, fantastic replicas with the fold over. The sound is great on these things, even down to the black and yellow Parlophone labels on them. They're just wonderful releases. And next, this is, I think this was the first US pressing, introducing the Beatles, England's #1 vocal group. Now there are all kinds of pressings and bootlegged unofficial sort of pressings of this, and I don't remember what they all are. I remember big brackets versus small brackets on the label. The Beatles here being over the spindle hole as opposed to under the spindle hole. A comma in Please Please Me, which I believe this one does. So I'm not sure if this is an original or one of the very many bootlegs, but introducing the Beatles, US pressing, of course, VJ Records. Next I have American pressing of Meet the Beatles, the first album by England's phenomenal pop combo. Sorry about the glare. This is the first video that I'm doing in this new room, so I'm kind of getting used to the lighting and I might be failing, so I apologize for that. Meet the Beatles, US pressing, of course. Next is a Canadian pressing of Twist and Shout, the Beatles, of course, featuring She Loves You. Of all of the Beatle records, this cover is my favorite. It always has been. I just absolutely love this picture. I believe this album and this particular cover was released in a few other countries on CD, maybe in later years down the line. Not 100%, but this is a Canadian pressing, Capitol Records of Canada. Next, Long Tall Sally, and this is a Canadian pressing. And I'll say at this point, before I forget, I think a lot of people over the years have developed sort of US versus UK pressings and what they prefer. I've always preferred the UK pressings. It's known that sort of the track listings and how those were released is what the group wanted, and that's how I grew up. I was a big Beatle nut when I was a teenager. Started off with CDs, of course, and with the UK releases, which I grow to know and love. And this is a American pressing of A Hard Day's Night. And I think I prefer the cover as well to on the UK pressing as opposed to this. But I do like the red. The blue is sharp, of course, on the UK. But so here we go with the UK and their version. And once again, this is one of the 2014 mono reissues. Again, these are all beautifully done. This is a Canadian pressing of something new. Again, you know what? I used to remember the years and all that stuff, but even track listings, I used to remember all kinds of unnecessary things like that, but slowly slipping away from me. I do love that picture though. Something new. Beatles for Sale. Again, 2014 mono reissue. There was a recent, I think it was a thread, I wasn't sure if it was a thread or a contest. I did see Rachel do an entry for it, and this album was a particular example where the rear cover or the picture on the back was actually better and in their opinion should have been used on the front, and I agree with this particular one, Beatles for Sale. That back picture is much nicer. They look so, and they were so much going on, just, that's an exhausting Fab Four right there. And I gotta get rid of that. Poor George. Gets his face covered. A narrative and musical biography of Beatlemania. This is the Beatles story. This is a double LP. It's been a long time since I've listened to this. Beatles story. And that is a US pressing. US pressing of Beatles 6. I didn't take out the records for those that want to see the labels, so my apologies. Some of them I do have placed in the back, which is something I've never really solidified one way or the other. Some records are in the actual jacket, some are in behind. But this is Beatles 65. This is a Canadian pressing. I remember when I was a kid, young teenager, the picture here, the main picture with the umbrellas, I had a poster of the lads on my wall. Kind of a teal background. I also had at one point, it was this massive Sgt. Pepper's poster of the album cover. And it was huge. I'll bet you it was probably 8 feet by 4 feet. It was massive. I'm not sure whatever actually happened to it. The early Beatles, now on Capitol. And this is a US pressing. Of course, that's the same picture as the back of the Beatles for sale that I just showed you a few back. That's on the Rainbow Capitol. And this is, I believe, US Help, original motion picture soundtrack. And Help from the 2014 mono reissue series, or set, I guess, if you will. Help, I find, is one of those albums that's underrated by the Beatles. I mean, there's not many, but Help is one of the ones I think that they're it could be in the top tier of sort of their top 3 or 4. It's right up there. It's always been a really solid album, in my opinion, of course. I should have looked this one up, but I didn't. It's an early, I don't know if it's an original Canadian pressing. I should have looked it up, but I didn't. Rubber sole. And it's in decent shape. I am going to actually take out the record. And again, I preferred the, with rubber sole, I preferred the UK because growing up, I was on the CD. I was just, started off with Drive My Car. Yeah, Rainbow Capitol. Pardon my dog in the background. She's just saying hello. Rubber sole. Next, we have Rubber Sole. Again, from the 2014 mono reissue series. And starting with Drive My Car. Michelle, my belle. Yesterday and today. Canadian pressing, so it's never one of the Butcher States, of course. But this is actually a really good album. I love the track listing on this. Drive My Car. I'm Only Sleeping, Nowhere Man, Dr. Robert, Yesterday, Act Naturally. Andrew Bird Can Sing, If I Needed Someone, We Can Work It Out, What Goes On in Day Tripper. We Can Work It Out, Day Tripper are singles. Not sure if the other was Yesterday was Yesterday's single. I don't know. This is one of the, this may be the biggest prized item in my list. And I'm just gonna, I've got a laptop on the floor here because I knew I wasn't going to remember it. And if I don't see it, well, here we go here. This is On and Off, my favorite Beatles album. And this is a UK 1966, there's a variant here. That's called a First Press Variation A. Sorry, I had to get that right. Of Revolver. Got the fold over back. And I'm going to show you this one. Again, one of my probably prized albums from the collection. Yellow and Black Parlophone. This was a gift from my in-laws, actually gave this to me for Christmas a few years ago. And I can't even remember where they got it from, but just awesome stuff. Revolver. Again, depends on what day of the week or what week of the month you ask me. This is On and Off, my favorite release by the Beatles. And this, again, 2014 mono reissue. Now, with both of these, I'm not sure with the newest reissue that's coming up on us whether or not I want to get one or any of those issues, but I mean, we'll see. I guess pricing has a lot to do with it, of course, too. Another great album, which of course includes singles. She Loves You, Roll Over Beethoven, the Beatles' second album. And this is a Canadian pressing on the Rainbow Capitol label. This one's a really fun listen. Hey, I like the Beatles. Going back to that thread or contest about the rear cover being better than the front cover, this one probably takes #1 prize. I just love that picture. And that's the rear picture on a collection of Beatles oldies. I believe this is a UK 1969 compilation. But I mean, a psychedelic cover, that's kind of cool in its own right, but that's such a great looking picture on the back. UK. Okay, we come to Sgt. Pepper. And I'll just go through these quickly. This is an original Canadian mono pressing. It does not have the inserts. I don't think any of the peppers do. Original Canadian stereo pressing with the stereo banner across the top. (2014) mono reissue. And the last one that I have, which is wonderful, and I don't remember the year off. It was a few years ago now. This is the Giles Martin remaster. And this is fantastic. With headphones, what really kicked my butt was, in particular, and among others, but the two right off the top of my head, Within You, Without You, and Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite. I mean, there's just things in there. And then the piano note, the very end of A Day on the Life, it's just accelerated and it just has so much boom to it. I enjoy that remaster. Okay. Next is Magical Mystery Tour. I believe this is Canadian. Has the booklet inside. This was the first Beatles album I ever got back when I was a teen. Bought my very first CD was actually Magical Mystery Tour for $28 plus tax when CDs were stupid priced. Yeah, Magical Mystery Tour. Next is the White Album. I don't recall the year. It has the 4 photos. It has the poster. It is the Canadian pressing of it's the purple capital label. I don't recall the year. Yellow Submarine. Cable Dog's probably one of my favorite Beatles songs, which of course is on here, side 1. I gotta go quicker. Abbey Road. One is an Apple label and one is a Capital label. And they are both Canadian pressings. I don't know the years offhand, but oh, look at that. Abbey Road. I don't have to go in much detail because I mean everybody knows all these records. Here's another one. The picture on the back is better than the front cover. This is Hey Jude. There's another title on the label. I think it's something different, but I don't recall. But that's a good one. That was probably, I remember when I was growing up, that was probably my dad's favorite Beatle album we played the most. Past Masters Volume 1 and 2. This is a US pressing. Double LP, of course. 1 and 2, white and black. Okay, Let It Be. This is, I want to say Canadian, but I've got the label on the back. It's the Apple label, green Apple label. Let It Be. I think it's Canadian, but I'm not sure. And then I've also got the red Apple of Let It Be. This is probably up there with that early pressing of Revolver as being one of the prized Beatle items in the collection. This is the Let It Be box set, and this to this day I don't think it's ever been pressed and released in the US. It's just a single LP, but it comes in this fancy box and a really nice book, and the book is in nice shape. The box, you know, the corners are, you know, they're a little dinged, but for the most part, I mean, it's in good shape. It's certainly not a listening copy for me, and you know, I haven't been listening to it. Maybe I should be. I'm not sure how it sounds compared to the others, but yeah, I came across this and just sort of knowing what it was, I had to have it. And I won't tell you how much I paid for it, but to this day, this is the most I've paid for anything in any of my entire record collection, not just the Beatles. So I treasure this. It's good to have. I'm glad I bought it. This is a 76 reissue, I believe. I'll show them both. You know them. 66 to 62 to 66, 67 to 70. They're just the black. They're Canadian pressings, just the black vinyl. They're not the red and the blue vinyl. Okay, a couple more, 3, 4 more. Love songs, the Beatles. Double LP, nice package. I think there's a poster in this too. Pretty sure it's been a long time since I've cracked it open. Love songs. This one I really enjoy, and this features, how is it, Tony Sheridan and guests. Yes, this is the Beatles very together. This is a fun album. I always enjoy listening to this. I'll just show you the track listing there. Sorry again for the glare, folks. Cool cover too. Very together. The Beatles rarities. This is Canadian. Just different takes and stuff on songs, outtakes, different versions, etc. And the last one that I have for you that I will show, is it's an original pressing of this. I remember when I bought this, it was released in 1994, and I didn't even open it till about 6 years ago. Double LP, Beatles live at the BBC. Yeah, I don't know why I went so long without listening to it, but lots of good early tracks from the Beatles live at the BBC. I had always considered getting BBC. There's a volume 2, I believe, but not yet. Maybe one day. So that's it, my Beatles vinyl collection. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will leave a link to Robert's channel below if you want to check out his collection and maybe do a thread response for yourself. Other than that, I thank you very much for watching, and until next time,